Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Wargames Geek. This week's video is part one of two videos I'm showing you, which is my zombie apocalypse showcase. The miniature figures I've used are from the Project Z boxed game, and that's by Warlord Games. Project Z is a skirmish war game where you take control of survivors or a street gang fighting to survive against other groups of survivors and a growing horde of zombies. I've picked this game up for £40 on eBay. Some of the terrain I've used is from the Walking Dead All Out War scenery booster, and I picked that up for, I think it was about £17 from Zatu Games. And some of the other vehicles I've used, the lorries in the background, I've got from other places, but I'll tell you where I got those from as the video goes on. So let's start off then by looking at some of the human survivors, and this is a military chap here in his uniform whose hand has come detached. I think I might have done that myself while I was putting him together. So I've just given him a sort of bloody stump for a hand, or where his hand would have been rather. So he's going to fire his machine gun with one hand, pure Rambo style. The others, what I've done here is I've done what I normally do is the single base layer of paint, and then I've dipped them in the quick shade, and then when they've completely dried off I've put them on these bases. Now the bases I've used for these are clear acrylic bases, and I decided to do this just really because I wanted them to be a bit more adaptable, so I could use them on fields, for example, or I could use them in cities on the terrain, or like the road surfaces, pavements, that sort of thing. So just to make them a bit more adaptable for use on different surfaces when I'm playing the game. So yeah, lots of different characters. Let's just a close up of this chap's face. I think it came out quite well. I'm pleased with how they look in his green tracksuit with his baseball bat there. And then we've got this mean fella with his chainsaw for a complete splatterfest, and he's going to make a mess of whoever he comes into contact with. So that's the humans, and then in this box set, the Project Z box set, what you also get is you get the start of a biker gang. So two motorcycles and then sort of three figures on foot. So let's have a closer look at one of these guys. So yeah, done the motorbike in sort of a deep red colour. Didn't go into too much detail. These are for playing games with, not for displaying. So just done them to a nice tabletop standard. And so yeah, there's your motorcyclist there. There's tin helmet. I think the figures look quite nice. They're quite detailed. I'll just turn him around and give you a look at the other side. So one of the female bikers here with a sort of pistol and red bandana. This is the other motorcycle with the girl on the back with her red thigh highs, and yeah, the male riding the bike there. So that's the two motorcycles and one of the figures in that range. I won't show you all of them. Obviously, we'll be here all day doing that, but that just gives you an idea of what the motorcycles look like. One more just to show you just a close-up of the face and the detail on that. So again, this is just one base layer of the hair for his sort of beard, the skin tone for the face and the red bandana, and then again just the quick shade dip. So for wargaming purposes, these are I think they come up really well. So just going back to talking about the bases that I used, these circular bases, you can see on some of them they're a bit of a pain to get the glue to stick without coming through. There's sort of a couple that I've probably just used a little bit too much glue, so it's done a little bit of misting. But you know, again, I'm happy with the end result. So here's one of our zombies then. So I've done him in a necrotic flesh colour. There he's just coming out of hospital, and so all covered in blood and gore. So that's the idea with these, just to make them look sort of as rotten as possible. So there he is walking out of the hospital. Lady with a briefcase, obviously been bitten, and if I spin her around, you can see the part of the leg that's been bitten there, big hole in the back of her leg, and she's turned. So this is all part of the zombie horde, obviously. A couple more here. This lady in her underwear here, she's lost a hand. And yeah, so these are all the Warlord Games miniatures from Project Z range that I've done all these different ones in. I've used the same colours pretty much throughout for the skin tone. I've gone for that sort of greeny, rotten, necrotic flesh figure. And the last of these I'll show you is this chap here, where he's holding the severed head of one of his victims. A bit of a snack for later, I suppose. So that's those guys all done. So that's the zombies, and what I'll do now is I'll have a look around the table just to show you a sort of bit of a setup, how I've just sort of laid them out for the time being. I've got some trucks there, I'll talk about those in a minute. What I'll do first of all is show you the vehicles that come from the Walking Dead All-Out War board game range, and as I've said already, this is the scenery booster. You get 4 vehicles. A bit disappointing that you get 2 cars which are the same and 2 trucks which are the same. It's a little bit disappointing, but they still look great on the table. So this is the first car I've done in a sort of beige colour, and I've tried to pick out rust and giving it some blood and gore all up the side of it and bits and pieces like that. So what I'll do is I'll pick up the other car and show you what I'm talking about. They are 2 cars, but you basically get, let's just come into the picture. You've got 2 cars, but the damage is exactly the same, so they're the same vehicle. This one I've done grey. Again, you can see where I picked out the rust on the sort of edges of the doors and on the damage at the front. Just coming around there to show you that. And then on the other side, again, a bit of rust and some blood splattered up the side of the car. So very nice models, but it's just a bit of a shame that they're the same. And then you get 2 trucks, which are again the same mould, and this one I've done in the blue with, again, rust all up the sides, and I've put some blood splatters here and there and all that sort of thing, and just some rust on the damage on the bonnet of the car. Just dry brushed all that to get that effect. I think they look pretty good. I'm quite happy with the sort of finished result there. So that's the vehicles you get in the Walking Dead All-Out War range. Additionally, you get some barricades. So I'm just going around and showing you the barricades. You get these this one's a sort of metal with tyres at the back. You get 2 of those. You get some radiators, and you get some wooden sort of planking with boxes behind. So you get 2 of those as well. So altogether, you get 6 barricades. 2 of each. So 2 wood, 2 of these metal radiator ones I'm showing you now, and 2 of the sort of tyre ones. So that's those, and then the last thing you get is you get some crates and sort of boxes and bits of sort of scatter terrain. So I'm just showing you one there. Again, what I've done with all of these is I've literally just given them a base coat of paint and then quick shade dipped them, sprayed them with the matte varnish, and then they're pretty much ready. So the last 2 things I'm going to show you is these 2 trucks here. So you've got, basically I've got these from the website Wish. So they come over from China. So a bit of a wait for them to come, but I think I paid about £8 each or something like that for them. So what I've done with these is I've literally just dipped them in the quick shade, or actually I've brushed the quick shade on this time because they're too big to actually get into the tin. So I've brushed them with quick shade. Just use an old brush because it will ruin the brushes. And then once I've done that, I've sprayed them with matte primer, and with matte varnish, not primer, with matte varnish, and then I've just written graffiti on them: runaway and zombies, walkers, the dead are here, all stuff like that. This one's quite good. The figures sit nicely inside the back there. I've just done, I'll just turn that around and show you. So I've got walkers on the side, the dead are here, and things like that. So yeah, to give it a bit of detail. And with this one, the back does flip up. I'll just open that now. And then what I've done inside on the sort of floor of this one, it's obviously been sat around unable to move for quite some time. So I've just done some rust. Again, it's just dry brush, all that, just to give it a sort of aged look, and it's been sat there for ages. And here we are. I've just put a couple of figures inside so you can sort of see that they can sort of see over the top to shoot out at the zombies or gangs that are coming to take their stuff. So that's how they look. So that's all of those. Just turn that around again, just to show you from the other side. So that's all the vehicles. So I've got a nice bit of terrain here, and just wanted to talk about scale briefly. I bought this police vehicle, which again it was just a toy car, which said it was 1/48 scale, and I've just matte varnished that. and sorry, I've dipped it first with a quick shade and then matte varnished it afterwards. And just to give you an idea, this is the sort of scale. It looks great with this figure, or with these figures. I think that's about the right sort of scale. But when you hold it up against the Walking Dead terrain, it's a bit big. And it doesn't really do it justice, this picture, but it just looks a bit too big. So just bear that in mind when you're buying vehicles. The scale does need to look right. So that's part one of my zombie apocalypse showcase. On the next video, I'll show you my military compound that I've put together and where I got all the bits from for that. So until then, please do subscribe, like and share. And as always, thanks very much for watching my video.